Good evening, everyone. This is Rebecca with Red True Crime, and thank you for joining me this evening. So, tonight we are going to be doing some case updates and talking about a new case that got sent to me yesterday. Now, the person who sent this to me, I apologize for not covering this yesterday. I had a little mishap with work and ended up with 5 stitches in my finger. So, I was a little preoccupied. But we can get into it tonight. So, without further ado, sit back, relax, and be right back. Okay. So, we are going to start off with Kristen Lester. This is a woman that has recently gone missing, and her family is super, super concerned about where she is. So, you see, she was last seen on March 13th. She is 5'4", weighs 140 pounds, brown hair, green eyes, and it's really unknown what she was last wearing. But they saw her in the Trinity area. But let's get into this. You know me. When I get people who are missing, I always delve into their background. It's what I do, you know, because I think a good part of why they're missing is super important, because it could lead to, things in their past could be part of the present, why they're missing, all that. You know my thing. I've done this. I did this with Marissa Carmichael, caught hell about it. Did it with Laquan Little, caught hell about that one. And I still stand by it to this day that I'm going to keep doing that because, again, it plays a role. I really think it does. Um, Laquan Little, not that one because his was an unfortunate accident. But other cases, I do believe it does play a significant role. So, Kristen has had a rather checkered life. And she has unfortunately been busted for many a drug charge and many a breaking and entering charge. In fact, she was just caught not that long ago. It was in court. Let me find it right here. Yep. Kristen Amber Lester was picked up for simple possession of a Schedule 3 drug and second-degree trespass. Now, this happened in February of this year, and she posted bond, she was out, and she was just in court and actually has another court date coming up. So she was just in court. See, she posted bond on March 8th, and that's when she got out. Now she's been last seen March 13th, so it's 5 days after she was bonded out of the jail in Randolph County. Um, and she is supposed to be back in court on April 13th. So at this point, I know her family's concerned about her well-being, and I understand that because the people she may be associating with in this world could have done her harm, or she could have done harm to herself by ingesting something she probably should not have. I don't know, but this is up in the air. So at this point, she could be on the run, maybe not wanting to go back to court, or something could have happened to her, and we don't know. But I dare say if she doesn't show up for her April 13th court date, then we have more of a reason to be concerned. But there you have it. She, like I said, she very well could be just out and about because she got out of jail on March 8th and was last seen 5 days later. But there you go. Like I said, I've got the information out. I hope she's okay. I hope it's just something she just doesn't want to be dealing with the court system because there's people who do that. And, I hope it's something like that. So let's see. This one's made a little bit more national news. This is Rebecca Harrow. We do remember her from the Emmanuel Harrow case. Rebecca Harrow is the mother of Emmanuel Harrow. And if you remember, she and her husband made up a story about their child being abducted from a truck at a Big Five parking lot, which is a sporting goods store, and they're in the Southwest. They're in California, and she said she got hit in the face and knocked out. The baby went missing. Yada yada yada. And then we go fast forward some time. I think this happened back in August, maybe September, because the story started. The family started saying, "Hey, we haven't seen that baby in some time." And you find out that Dad, Jake Harrow, had a history of child abuse where he had actually permanently injured his daughter from a previous relationship. She was 8 weeks old or 10 weeks old, and he beat that baby so bad that she has permanent disability, can't see, can't feed herself, needs 24/7 care. And the kid, I think, is now 10. And unfortunately, it sounds like the same thing has happened to Emmanuel Harrow. So his father has pled guilty, avoided the death penalty, and I believe got 35 years in prison. But mom has yet to really been in the court and really face judgment. So for her, she is pleading not guilty. She's saying she has nothing to do with this. She is sticking to the main story that someone took that baby. Now, Jake Harrow did take investigators out to an area where he said he disposed of the body, but Emmanuel Harrow's body still has not been found, which is so sad because he was a 7-month-old baby. I don't understand what's going on with that. So anyway, she's been in court here recently, and she has another court date next month. I guess they're going to discuss a plea agreement or maybe even discuss if they're going to go into trial. So she's still sitting there in jail. She's not come out. She's not posted bond. I don't think she even has a bond. They were, denied her bond. So she is sitting there. We don't know what they're going to do with her. If they're going to find her guilty or what they're going to do. Most likely they're going to find her guilty. So especially since Jake has already pled guilty to killing the child, but we'll see what happens with her. Now, more of a local favorite, Cecil Brockman. Yes, yes, Cecil Brockman. Cecil Brockman was a now former representative for the state of North Carolina. He actually lived in High Point, which is where I used to live. And he has gone down for lewd acts, I guess. I mean, let me find what it was that he did, the exact wording. Bear with me just one second, because I've talked about him so much you'd think I'd have it to memory. Let's see. Go here. Do, 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 do. I know he's got court coming up very soon. Come in. Cecil. Smith. While my iPad loads up the information here. Let's see. Hazel Brockman had a lot of civil issues going on. Okay. So what they have gotten him for is, and he's got multiple charges here, but they've got him for statutory sex with a child under the age of 15, indecent liberties with a child, and first-degree sexual exploitation of a minor. That's just one of them. I mean, he's got 3 separate cases going on at the same time, all varying degrees of that. Um, let's see. What's this one? Yeah, same thing as what I just mentioned before. And the third one, let's see, he's got 1, 2, 3 for 2026. And then he's got one for 2025, which is when he was initially charged and questioned and all that. And that one we've got, yeah, so it was the same thing, statutory sex with a child under the age of 15, indecent liberties with a child, all that. So he is going back to court, I believe, in April. Let me make sure of that. I think it's April 24th. Open. Let's see. I'm sorry, April 6th is when he goes back. He goes back April 6th for his charges. So, uh, he was granted bond, which is crazy. I don't understand why they keep granting these guys bond, but it is what it is. I don't know if he actually got out. Let's see, 'cause he got indicted on March 2nd. He was rearrested. He did a first appearance March 3rd. And so he actually may still be sitting in the Guilford County Jail. I'm not sure. But yeah. So this guy, because he was charged with this, it all came out because he was using his position to keep a kid that he brought up from Atlanta, Georgia. Child was living with him. And he tried to say it was the kid's fault this even happened. He lied. He said kid was 18. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how many below the age of 15-year-old boys could pose as an 18-year-old boy. I don't know. But kid got loose, told people what was going on. They confiscated phones, and they found a lot of images and some video of Cecil Brockman doing things to this child that they should not be doing. Hence all the charges. So he has resigned his position of the Democratic Party. He's resigned his position as state representative because of this, and as well as he should. Now, I'm going to talk about him like I talk about every other pedophile out there. These guys do not deserve bond. They do not deserve to be around other people, and they don't deserve, in my opinion, to live. But that's just my opinion on that one. But honestly, I don't understand why they let the pedophiles, the rapists, and the ones who commit murder/attempted murder. Because here's my thing: if you commit attempted murder and you get let out to do whatever, you're given the opportunity to finish where they start. Finish where they left off. Violent crimes like that should not get bond. Crimes that violate children should not get bond. They can sit there and do their time until they go to court and they get found guilty or not guilty. Because I'm sorry, too many cases where these guys have, done what they've done with a kid, and then they get out and they start intimidating witnesses and children and family members, and it's a whole thing. So no, none of that should be going on. So yeah, he goes back to court April 6th. Now, this is the guy that's actually made the major news, Jarvis Butts. Jarvis Butts is the guy who impregnated and murdered his niece by marriage, Naziah Harris. So let me put out something I was mistaken about earlier. When it came out that he had died, I did say that he had given the location of Naziah's body. That is not true. They have not recovered her body. Now, he's given some locations, but she's not been found. So her remains still have not been found. Now, Jarvis Butts had just been sentenced in her case 2 weeks ago, and now he's dead. Now, did he self-delete himself? I don't know. Because that story's come out that they found him hanging in a cell. Another story is that the inmates surrounded him, beat him, tortured him, and did all kinds of horrible things to him to get him to tell the truth about where Naziah Harris's body is. And then they went too far and killed him. I don't know what exactly happened. We're having people, there's been a couple people claiming they work at the prison, they know what happened. I don't know. I can say that the world is better that he's no longer on it, considering what he's done, because Naziah Harris was not the only child he had done that to. Oh, she's the only child that he's been found guilty of murdering. But there were other young children that had come forward that he had been molesting. And what kills me is his wife, Naziah's aunt, knew when she married him that he had this issue, that he had already been convicted of this before. Why marry a child molester? I don't understand this. I'm going to harp on this all day long. I don't understand. And when I talk about stuff, oh, that's some old stuff. No, nothing's ever old. I mean, some people, let me say this. There are people out there that can rehabilitate their lives. People that are thieves, people with drug issues. Okay, you know, you can rehabilitate. I am a firm believer that people with violent criminal history probably can't. I'm not saying it's completely impossible, but I would dare say it's more than likely they're going to reoffend in a major way. So why take that risk? You know? And then you've got, I mean, are women that desperate out there for a man that they'll marry just about or get with just about anybody? They'll ignore some things at the risk of your young relatives. I don't get it. I would rather live alone than mess with somebody who is a rapist or a pedophile. That's just how I feel. You can come at me for that all you want. So, but those are the updates. Like I said, Jarvis Butts is deceased. We Her family will not at this point, I don't think the family will ever will find out what happened to Naziah. You know, it's a very sad situation. It's a horrible situation, and I hate that for them. And yeah, I just wish they could have found her and put her to rest. But this guy's stain is off the earth. All right, everybody. So this is Rebecca with Red True Crime. I'm gonna hop off here, heal my hand because, like I said, these stitches are not fun. And but those are the updates I have for right now. So as I always say, be weird, be rude, be safe. Because if you're weird and rude, they won't take you. I guarantee it. And keep an eye on your kids and make better choices when you bring people around your children because you can't trust everybody out there. You can't, you know? Especially if you're a single parent with daughters, be careful who you bring around your kids. It's insane. So, anyway, good night, everybody. Thank you for tuning in and keep your head on a swivel. Bye.